Real quick, this message is for my fellow Georgians. Fellow Georgians, down to the front. Georgians, you know all of this talk about that cruise ship with those people who have been exposed to the hantavirus. I believe 4 people have perished. Y'all correct me down below if I'm wrong. I believe 4 people have died on that cruise ship. 3 people have been evacuated to area hospitals. For a long time, that cruise ship was adrift because neighboring countries would not allow them to dock. Spain, I believe, finally allowed them to dock. And unfortunately, some people have been allowed to leave the ship. And some of those people are from Georgia, and they are now here in Georgia. The Georgia Department of Public Health is actively monitoring 2 Georgia residents who recently returned home after disembarking from the MV Hondius, the cruise ship at the center of a hantavirus outbreak that has raised concerns among global health officials. According to DPH, both individuals are currently in good health and have shown no signs of infection. They are adhering to the latest recommendations. They can choose to adhere to or not adhere to. Okay? Provided by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Who's over the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention? The CDC. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is over the CDC. In a release statement, the CDC said, the administration is closely monitoring the situation with U.S. travelers on board the MV Hondius cruise ship with confirmed hantavirus. Our top priority remains the health and safety of all U.S. passengers. The Department of State is leading a coordinated whole-of-government response, including direct contact with passengers, diplomatic coordination, and engagement with domestic and international health authorities. As the global leader in health security, the U.S. government is deploying its premier health experts. I want to remind you that RFK wiped out the CDC of all of these experts. So who are these experts? I have no idea. He erased all of those experts, scientists, the people that we would depend on to provide us with accurate information, the people who would rise above a RFK and a Donald Trump the way that Anthony Fauci did. Yeah, none of those people exist at the CDC anymore. RFK Jr. got rid of all of them. But moving on, as the global leader in health security, we are not the global leader in health security anymore. Donald Trump and RFK Jr. removed us from who? The World Health Organization. Yeah, elections have consequences. We have no attachment to the World Health Organization and all of those experts, scientists and doctors and people within the CDC that helped us to get through the COVID pandemic. All of those people are gone. As the global leader in health security, the U.S. government is deploying its premier health experts to respond to this evolving situation. They are going, whoever is going to look into this situation, they are chaos agents. They are going to be problematic because they are going to be working based on under the direction of RFK Jr. and Donald Trump. Collaboration with international partners is ongoing to provide technical assistance and guidance to mitigate risk. That is the statement from the CDC. The agency says that at this time, the risk to American public is considered extremely low. Now, I'm in agreement with that statement right now, but will it stay there? No, it won't stay there. because we have incompetent people who suffer from the Dunning-Kruger effect. They believe that they know more than the experts on any said given situation, which puts people in danger because they know nothing. All Americans aboard the ship are urged to follow health officials' guidance as efforts continue to bring them home safely. Dr. Something, director of the National Institutes of Health, emphasized the importance of transparent communication and evidence. And we know that the Trump administration, they are not transparent. Emphasize the importance of transparent communication and evidence-based guidance. And we know the Trump administration does not follow evidence. They follow how they feel, what they think they know, and conspiracy theory. That's what they follow. For those affected by the outbreak, echoing calls for calm and vigilance as authorities continue their response. The outbreak, which was first reported earlier this week, has health experts on alert due to the rare nature of hantavirus transmission aboard cruise ships. According to CBS News, and we know how things are going over at CBS News under the tutelage of Barry Weiss, another conspiracy theorist. According to CBS News reporting, the virus typically spreads through contact with rodent droppings, urine, or saliva, and human to human transmission is considered extremely rare. The MV Hondius incident marks an unusual case prompting heightened surveillance and coordination between public health agencies worldwide. CBS News further reports that the cruise ship, which has been traveling through polar regions, has been thoroughly sanitized, and all passengers have been advised to monitor their health closely. The CDC and international health agencies are working to trace possible sources of exposure and ensure that protocols are in place to prevent further spread. At this time, the Georgia Department of Health emphasizes that there is no immediate risk to the public. The two monitored residents continue to remain symptom-free, serving as a reminder of the importance of vigilance and rapid response in managing emerging infections, disease threats. Mhm. That's the latest. Georgians, two residents of Georgia, are now back home being monitored. I don't know why they have been allowed to mingle amongst freely with everybody else. I don't know why they weren't released to a hazmat facility where they could be monitored away from the public for a long period of time. I know why. Because our administration is incompetent. Yeah. And I do believe that this administration is trying to kill as many people as they can while Donald Trump and his administration are at the helm. Take this information and govern yourselves accordingly.